Hey everyone, how's it going? Happy Friday. Good to be here. Yeah, I couldn't really wait until Saturday and tomorrow morning to kind of continue work on the repo. It's just too much fun to do. So I'm going to do some work now instead, and just do some prep work. Mostly admin stuff that is probably not that fun to watch, honestly. But it's useful to do, and I thought that instead of just doing it behind the scenes, I'm going to do it live on Twitch. So you can watch and you can join in if you want to, and if nothing else, this is recorded, so if anyone misses this session today, they can re-watch it later. So, should be fun. It's really warm here in DC tonight. It's like 30 plus degrees Celsius. It's 90 Fahrenheit, I think. So this basement that I'm in right now is very nice and cold, and it's awesome to be here, honestly. So I'm going to have fun. So if you're joining me today, this evening on this very impromptu stream, definitely feel free to put your name and thoughts in the chat. It's always fun to hang out with you all when we're doing this. And I hope someone was able to catch this week's talk as well on Wednesday virtually in the UK, which was really fun. Lots of fun questions and ideas, so really appreciated that. That was so much fun. But cool. As I don't expect too many to join this stream today, since it's very impromptu and off schedule, I'm going to kind of jump straight into what I'm going to do. But if you're on the chat, if you are joining, definitely shout out and hang out with me. Cool. So, I got a couple of things I want to get done today. First of all, what I want to do here is have a look at the repo. Hi Daniel and AJ, exactly the people I wanted to have on the line. I was hoping to sneak this one in here without you guys noticing, but apparently you did, so. But actually, you're exactly the people I want to join today, so we can kind of get some things wrapped up here. I was going to do some admin work already, but then I thought just jump on the stream and do it, and hopefully people will join. So, cool. That's good. So a couple of things I do want to do today is I do want to, so tomorrow I'm going to focus more on coding and actually create fix issues and those kind of stuff. I want to leave the coding part tomorrow because it's fun to do it in the weekend. Today is going to be more of a not boring stuff, but useful stuff. So admin stuff. So what I want to do today is add PR templates. So when we create pull requests in this repo, we have some general things that we include, like fixes and then hashtagging issues. So we automatically close those issues. And just descriptions, and both you AJ and Daniel have been very good with your PRs, very descriptive. I like that, but I want to add some little bit of structure on there as well, so we make sure that any new contributors has the same level of detail in what they're doing. I also want to review some work, and I want to start looking at some kind of schematics for the Blazor app we want to build. So I want to kind of dive into some thoughts there I had last night when I was out running. So hopefully get time to do that. And I think that's going to go into one of your questions as well, AJ. You had a question regarding, I think it was run results or something like that. So yeah. But first of all, for anyone who hasn't seen, we have 11 closed PRs already, which is outstanding. AJ has been very productive, and so has Daniel here. Thank you both for your contributions. So what we have done so far is Daniel's added support for SQLite, and that's something we can probably try tomorrow actually. I'm going to add it to a list of things I may want to do. How's it going? Good to have you on. Happy that you're joining in. Alright, so that's good. Well, it's very warm here. It should be warm. You're in the south, right? You're in, forgot the name now, of the city and the state. But you're in the south of the US, right? Should be pretty warm there. So SQLite has been added by Daniel, so that's awesome. And AJ here has added support for uploading models to an Azure Blob Storage, which is great. So now we actually have support for that. So one thing we want to do here is also add eventually support to file shares. So AJ's PR here added support for blob storage, but since Daniel added support for SQLite, so local storage, we also need to have like file share storage. Welcome, Dave. Good to have you on the line as well. Fantastic. I was surprised that I have so many people joining the stream, regardless. It was the last minute call here. My wife was working late tonight, and I just had to do something, and this is so much fun. So, hi Kevin, good that you're here. Thank you. Yeah, I grew my hair a bit longer, you know, called the quarantine here. Good that you're here as well. Hope everything is going well and you are enjoying your new job. I think you're still with Mike, right? In that case, that's awesome. If you survived so long with Mike. Cool. All right. So we do have something to work on. I don't want to spend too much time working on code today, because I do want to spend time tomorrow morning doing that. But what I've tried to do here, because as AJ has been so productive, and Daniel and also Sammy has been very good here with comments, and you all has been very just engaged here. What I did was I created tons of issues here for things that I thought of. So if you have something you want to pick up and work on, definitely do so. The ones that I feel like I have some thoughts about and I kind of want to at least keep for myself right now, I've assigned myself to them. So if you don't see me assigned to any issue, they are all up for grabs, and you can take them whenever you want to. And if you have any questions, just open discussions of those issues and we'll walk through them together. I think that's the easiest way of solving it. Should be good. So first thing first, on my list today is adding a PR template, and that's not the most fun thing, but it's something that is useful. And I always forget the syntax, but since we all on the stream today, we can kind of agree together on how that PR template should look like. Pull request template MD, great. To make sure you have the same thing. And what this will do is when you open a PR in the repo, we are going to have a common standard of what that can look like. So we'll do that, and let's see here. That should be fine. So I'm going to add some things to this template, I think. The question is what we want here. Yep. So we definitely want, so I want, when we do PRs, we definitely want the description field here. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying pistachios, David. It should be like 11 o'clock, right, for you? Late evening. I was thinking of opening a beer already, but it's not 5 p.m. yet. In 7 minutes, I may take a break and open my first beer for the night. But yeah. So, what we'll need here is this, and let's see, and I always forget the syntax here. So I'll just Google it like any developer would. Comments Markdown, it will definitely be easy once you get there. Okay. Oh, okay, we'll do this. Isn't there a better way of doing this? Comment in Markdown. I guess we'll do this. Simple. So what I want to do here is make sure when we open a PR, we know exactly what we want to do here. So, which issue this fixes? Example. Automatically close the issue. So if you do this in GitHub, if you add this fixes and then pound and the number of the issue, if you do that in your PR, it's going to link those two together, which is super nice for auditability, but it also is going to auto-close that issue. So if, for example, we have an issue that's called number 13, and we do that, then it's going to automatically close it. For example, I actually went in and edited AJ's PR myself here today, just to make sure that was added. So what I did here was I did this fix this number 3 here, right up here, and when I closed this PR, number 3 was then automatically closed by that PR, and I think it's also linked here. The PR is linked together, so that's really nice. We'll get that back and forth thing here. So we'll add that as a thing. We'll do this. Please add a description of what this PR does and how the issue is solved. Anything else you would like to see in the PR templates in general, since we are going to become more and more people contributing to this repo? I think these are two things I certainly want right now. When we start adding unit tests and those things, we definitely should have some kind of checklist of testability and making sure everything passes, and we actually have added more unit tests than before. But for now, maybe this is a good start, I think, to go further later. Going first, going second, going third. Let's do preview here. Okay. So this is how it's going to look, and we have to add things underneath here of okay. So added PR template, and we're going to commit that. So if I open a new PR now, okay, well, I need a branch, I guess. Do I have any? Yeah, if I open a new PR, we should get a PR template. The one that opens a PR next will have this fixed, hopefully. And if it doesn't work, then we will know soon. So what we'll go ahead and do here is close this issue. I didn't open a PR for this, so that was bad by me. But we'll go ahead and close this one since we have a PR template done. So that is great. That was something I definitely wanted to get done. It was just admin work, but it was necessary to get done. Cool. Alright. So the next thing I want to do here, which is kind of partially code, is to open up our repo and pull the latest changes from everyone. And I want to go ahead and add some information into the new projects, because I think that hasn't been done yet. So for example, the SQLite project package, I think it needs a little bit more NuGet package information just to correspond with the rest here. So go ahead and do that. Because I may want to actually upload this to NuGet today, so we have an alpha version available for everyone to work with, because it's always nice to have an alpha version you can pull and play around with locally, especially if someone wants to create an example project. I know I have a discussion with Sammy during this week, and he wanted to create a sample project, and to do that he needs to also have it in NuGet.org. So that should be good to do. So here's the solution that we've been working on, right? And right now I only have 2 projects because I haven't pulled the latest. And that's the main project, and then we have the Azure project here. So I'll go ahead and pull the latest, and I should get Daniel's and AJ's changes here that we'll need. Go ahead and reload this. Perfect. I'll get some music for myself here. Nice. So we see here that we have a new project as well here. We also see we have this data folder checked in, so I don't think we need that. So that was good to have a look at, because that one can be cleaned up. I think it's probably not needed. Daniel, is there a reason for the data folder being there, or is it just something that happened to slip in? Okay, which is it for the SQLite files? Okay, let me check that real quick. So you mean if I open up the folder for this, it's going to be there? Let me check. Let's see. I'm glad to have you on the stream today, Daniel, because otherwise I probably would have removed it. So you say that if I go into... Let's see, go back to the solution here. So we have the data folder here, but I'm not sure why it's like that, because I don't have it here, right? It doesn't show up here. So is it created but not used? Okay. Do you want me to remove this folder? Okay. That's fine, Daniel. Do you want to look at that yourself, Daniel, later? And I'll leave it for now. Because we still need to try this SQLite implementation anyway. So we might as well kind of leave it until then. That should be fine with me. If you have bugs, open an issue as well in the repo, just like any other issue. We open an issue for that. We can label it bug. So we do have that option here. So if I do a new issue, you should be able to do bug here as an issue itself. If you can't add labels, let me know and I'll see if I can add some permissions for that to make sure you can do that. Or I can do that for you if you want to as well. And hi Sean, glad you're joining as well. So Sean is a colleague of mine who just started streaming in his own stream, which is awesome. So, okay, so what we have here, what I wanted to do is we have some basic information here about the package. And I want us to also add this to the SQLite project so we have some consistency at least here. And I think we can come better with this eventually. But for now we'll do that. Simple MIT license here. And that's good. And we have the same here. We don't... Okay, we have that test there, good. So, Daniel, I know you just published a NuGet package for your awesome formatter for Jupyter Notebooks. If I want to create an alpha package now, and put that on NuGet, would I just do this to get that? Like an alpha first package? Or how would that naming style kind of work? It's my first NuGet package. Or our first NuGet package. We are the ones creating it. Okay. Use the wizard. I think it should work if we just do this. But we may just know eventually, I guess. Okay, package tab and options. Okay, let's have a look. I think they kind of fill in the same thing, right? So you did this one here instead, like that. And I do want with us to build a NuGet package every time we build. Okay. We'll add a description here. SQL storage provider. Okay. So that should be good. Do we need so product URL here? That could be our NuGet, sorry, our GitHub repo, right? Yep. Great call. Repository URL like that, I think. Thanks, Daniel. So I guess we'll do MLOps, MLNet. Do you do tags with hashtag, Daniel, or do we do it with comma separated? No hashtags? Is it just comma separated? Okay. Well, .NET Core is fine, I guess. It's a NuGet package after all. We'll do DevOps as well. We'll do machine learning. Anything else you want to add here? That should be good. Or do you think this is plenty? Release notes, okay, yeah. I think we'll just go ahead and add, this is the alpha version. Okay. Sure. I think since it's an alpha version, let's leave this empty, because I think we're not going to use this necessarily in too much. Well, why not actually? You're right. We should be good here. Thanks, John. I appreciate that. We can definitely set up a CI/CD pipeline to get them out as well eventually. That's always a good thing. Have a good evening, Sean. Okay, let's add some release notes. We'll put something about the support we have here. Since this has to do with a SQLite project though, so it's not necessarily for everything. So I'm going to leave this one. I'm going to leave it empty for now, I think, actually. Just keep it simple here. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. What we're going to do though is do the same for the other products here. And we'll do package. I want to call this alpha. MIT license. Put the repository URL here. And we'll put some tags here. MLOps, MLNet, machine learning, DevOps. One thing I do want to fix here again though is we should put SQLite here as well. I think the meaning of alpha is clear, yeah. I think that means that please don't touch it. If you, on your own risk, I guess. Use it if you like, but be careful. Alright, let's add this in here. We can add an icon later as well, actually. It's kind of fun. You can have an icon contest on how to make the best icon here. Okay, DevOps. And let's put Azure in here. And we'll generate that on build as well. Let's make sure we do all of them on build because it's just easier. Okay. Okay. Thank you for the follow, Valadine Dinde. What's your first name? Okay, building that. Okay, they all succeeded. That's good. So let's go ahead and go. And tomorrow, actually, what I want to do tomorrow is I do want to automate the build and put them in a local repository through PowerShell script, so we can all have that locally. So when we play with this ourselves, we don't have to copy paste everything. But I'll say that to tomorrow. Right now, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and upload these binaries, and we should probably build them in release mode actually, and not build them in debug mode. And we should definitely automate this for going further, so we don't do something we don't want to do. I don't think releasing these to NuGet should go through my computer like this, but that's going to do right now for the first time here. Okay, let me create a folder here just to summarize these. We'll do a release. Copy the ones over that we want to have right now, and then we'll go to NuGet.org and upload those. So Daniel, how did your stream go yesterday? Was it today? Yesterday, I think. Working on your smart fire alarm, right? Hopefully that was going well. I tuned in for a little bit there. Let's move this over to our release folder. We want to copy that one as well. And the final one we want to copy over is the SQLite one. Nice. Awesome. Did you release the smart fire alarm as a NuGet package, or was it your object formatter that you released? your confusion matrix. Alright, so we have those alpha packages here, and hopefully they will work just fine. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put them into NuGet and see if that works. So I do have a NuGet account here already. Oh, nice, awesome. I really look forward to testing those, Daniel, and seeing how those work locally for me. Should be really cool. Alright, so we have our release here. We have these packages. I don't think I can do all of them together, but I will start with our first alpha package here. Looks like that is okay. Good. Yeah, we need some integration tests as well for this repo. I added some issues for that actually as well. So I'm going to submit this one. I think this looks good. This is the main package that we have. I don't think that there's an issue with this. So we'll go ahead and submit this. And then we'll go ahead and upload the other two. Azure. Submit. And the last one, SQLite, that Daniel has created here. Okay, submit. Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, actually, I viewed part of your stream when you did exactly this, so I seen that as well. But that's great. So we should definitely try this tomorrow, maybe, to run these locally and pull them down locally. But Sean definitely gave me a thought here as well, and something we should do is to put something automated regarding this. So we should add an issue where we, every time we build through our CDC pipeline, we should pack it to what do you call it, a package, and we should also probably increment the build number, and we should probably deploy it to NuGet org as well. Does that make sense, right? Yep, I think that makes sense. We can do like this. Is it annoying? Okay. I hope it's not too annoying. But I was hoping what we can do is we can have a build script that just updates this build version right here until we are like happy with the release, I guess. So we can continuously deploy a new minor version all the time to NuGet.org as soon as we build something in this package. I think that would be nice, and like that we have all three packages already always updated. And then when we want to deploy, I guess, a major version, we can create a release in GitHub and also do that more formally, I guess. But let's add an issue for that, because that's something that we definitely want to do at some point here. So for add a NuGet package pipeline here. Well, Daniel, if you do it before I do it, or we do it, then we can learn from each other. We need to automate the... Okay. That probably makes sense. Org. When builds, we also want to package all packages and push them to NuGet.org with a new. I am open for discussion on this topic if there's a better way of doing it. Let's add a new label here as well. I think what we want to do here is I want to make sure we kind of group things a bit more. So this to me is more like a pipeline thing. So I'm going to call it pipeline as a new label, and we'll call it CI CD pipeline related. Create label, and we'll go ahead and go back to the issue, new issue. Perfect, save it here. We'll do pipeline, and at least we know then that's building out our CI/CD pipeline here. Ah, come on, don't do that. Submit new issue. That's a good one. I think that'd be nice to have eventually, because as soon as we start deploying like a real version or something we're proud of, I mean, we're proud of this, but once we have something in production ready, we also want to make sure we create a release package here, so we have the code in a zipped format for anything else here. So that should be good, and that should be useful. So what I did yesterday as well was I updated a README file here with more information about what we're doing and the current roadmap here. So I got some more stuff flushed out here, but that's good. And we definitely want to add this. So what I want to do right now, actually, it probably gonna falls into the next thing here, because what we want to do is I guess two things here. We want to do some minor cleanup here, so we want to add these into like a source folder, I think, so we have them more centralized. And we also want to add a docs folder, I think, for like architectural diagrams of what we want to do and how we expect it to work, and we can come to an agreement on the way to do that, I guess, as well. I also went ahead yesterday, added a contributing guidelines here, so anyone starting fresh in this repo, they can get code on here and they can read how to submit an issue, how to do a pull request, and also kind of some general styling guidelines. AJ and I had a discussion yesterday about some of these things. They're definitely like a matter of taste. It's nothing right or wrong with either. But I think what we should do is keep private memory variables with lowercase and no underscore. And anything else we want, we can add here to coding styles as well. Right, we might need new issues saying about the web API skeleton and Docker file. Yes, we probably need that, so that's something to think about here. Let me get back to that thought, Daniel. What are you saying, AJ? Should we have acceptance criteria on issues? Could you clarify that a bit more? Like when we submit an issue or when we solve an issue? I think I need to know more about what you mean with acceptance. Oh, you mean like you mean like a template for issues, I guess. I see. Okay, so yeah. So you mean that my my empty issues are not good enough with just a title? Yes, that's probably a good idea. Do you want to? Should we create an issue template maybe as well? I think there's a way to do that as well. Creating a pull request templates. Let's see. Okay, let's do that. That's a good idea, AJ. That's good administrative work in some ways, right? So let's get that done as well today. Create issue templates. Okay. Seems like we can't create a markdown file here. It's more in a settings folder here. So let's go ahead and do that in settings and then templates here. That's a good idea, guys. I like that. So where was that again? Settings, features. Is it here somewhere, I guess? So templates. Look at that. Okay. So we can have a bug report template, I guess, so bugs and then feature requests. So let's look at this one. So this is, I guess, a feature request. So this is a new enhancement of some sorts, right, that we have done before. This seems to be the general template we have here. This is great. I like this a lot. It's very clear, and I guess if I start doing these like this, and if you also start doing like this, it's going to be really good here as well. Do you think? Do you want to edit this in some ways here? So what we currently have here is if it's related to a problem, we can describe the solution we want to do here. Okay. Okay, sounds good. So let's go ahead that, and then let's add a bug report as well. So if we have a bug, for example, what you talked about earlier, Daniel, for the SQLite things here, we can then do something like this to reproduce it, or we can just kind of ignore it if we don't need to. But Let's do that. I'll do a new branch for this. Issue templates. Let's open a PR for this. I think we need to work on our PR template because the PR template should have appeared here. I would have expected our PR template to work here and it did not, so we may have to fix that a bit. So I will do description, issue and bag templates. Okay, 43. Let's do this, and then let's do this. Results issue. I think someone created an issue for us, that's good. So let's see, is this something that was automatically created? Well, I think that links back to the PR, but that's okay. Okay, I think so. And I will review it myself here and just merge this. Alright. So we updated those. So next time we open issue here now, we get this prompt right here, which is super nice. So if you have a bug report, Daniel, that you want to file, you can do this. If you have a new feature request or an idea, you can do this one and you get the templates working. Nice, I like it. Good suggestion, AJ. I like it a lot. But let's go real quick to the PR template because we did something wrong here. Otherwise, it would have shown up here. So, pull request templates. I think we created a file called pull request template.md. And to create multiple, that's fine. Okay. I'm wondering why we don't get that to work properly. Because that should prompt that PR to work, so well, we can probably work on that a bit later, but let me Google that real quick if you find an issue for this. My favorite thing to Google is doesn't work, and that usually solves most things here. Okay. So you probably should create it in the GitHub folder. Okay, let's try that real quick here. So we're gonna move this over. And that may be what is causing this issue. What I will do is actually I will just remove this. Let me do this. Let me first fix my changes locally here. I'll pull this down after that and I will fix that. But right now here, we still have to commit our changes in our license files here, or in our package files. So we'll create a new branch here. And we'll add an issue for this. Make sure we track that. So I will add a feature issue. I will say information. Actually, we don't need to file a new issue because what we can do is we link it to the alpha package issue we have already here somewhere. This one. So issue number 7. That's kind of what this is doing. Package. Okay, switch branch. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we will put that where it belongs here. Okay. Push this to GitHub real quick here. And open a PR with these changes. Here we go. Oh, look at that. I actually have the PR template working properly here. Not sure why it didn't work before, but it looks like it's working properly. So that's really nice. So we'll say fixes issue 7, and it will link that like that, right? So that's really sweet. And you can say in this PR we've updated the project info for the package command such that we can create an alpha version of the libraries. And I'm not sure if you're allowed to add labels. Please let me know if you can or not, because it's always a good thing to do here. So what we'll do here is we'll add just an enhancement here. We don't really have any milestones, but we can add a milestone if you want to. We'll add a PR, and let's wait for this build to finish before we merge this PR. But that's good. So while that's working, we can look at NuGet.org and see if we actually have our package uploaded, right? Let's see. So where would I find that? Manage packages, maybe? Look at that. So we have 3 published packages already. Great, guys. So we have alpha versions here. So we can actually do tomorrow is we can pull these down and we can create our example application as well with these packages, which is really fun. And if someone wants to pick that story up as well, you can do that. But now at least you have them in NuGet.org available for you to consume. Just to confirm that actually is the case, let's open up our review predictor here. Let me put that in the right screen. Sorry about that. And make sure that it is available for us to use here. So I do have some changes here that we don't need. Okay. Let me just revert some changes I was playing around with earlier. Okay. So if we go to NuGet.org here, we should be able to pull the real stuff down now. Browse. Let's go to just NuGet.org here. Let's search for mlops.net. And there's a lot of other stuff here going on. So let's go for Azure, I guess. See if we can find it. Since no one has downloaded before, I'm sure it's like not the first one in the list here. I wonder if it even will show up. Maybe it needs to index things on that side. That's a good point here. Oh, okay. It's a pre-release, I guess. Oh, this is local. Okay, no, that's fine. It's the right one right here. Great point, AJ. So do you know what makes it a pre-release? Because I know that we can do that. Is it the alpha part of it? Or what defines as a pre-release? It's good that it's a pre-release, because that makes it very obvious that you shouldn't use it if you're not sure what you're doing here. But let me check that actually real quick here. I never like things happening and not knowing what's going on there, so I have to check that. So I think what we actually did was doing this alpha here, and that's probably what's causing it. Yeah, I think so too. That's good. I mean, that's exactly what we wanted, so I don't really mind that being a pre-release. I'm just, it's good to know kind of what's going on here, so we can understand it. Okay. Should we go ahead and install maybe this one here as well, and get this working here? Let's install the Azure one here. Look at that, this is perfect. It's so cool, like actually having a NuGet package that we worked on here, and we publish it to NuGet.org. I'm really cool with that. Okay. So let's see here. It says that this doesn't exist, and I wonder why. Maybe it's because we haven't restored it yet. Let's build this one. Yeah, it's a good feeling, right? Then you're having multiple now. You're having, well, of course, you're part of this package, and you have 2 other ones, right? Or one other one? Taking a nougat with Storm. Okay. That's cool. Alright, so we do have these possibilities now. I kind of want to wait with coding until tomorrow, but I do want to check if this package is still not breaking. Because if it is, then what we could do is commit these changes actually to GitHub as well. But I do want to get back to the admin work, because that's kind of why I was doing this today. Not to have too much fun. So I'm running this training right now locally. I'll put it here. See if it blows up or not, or if it works somewhat. And perfect. It seems like it's working fine, because at least it's not blowing up, and it's doing what it's supposed to do. Nice. Okay. I think I'm going to do is I'm going to commit this review predictor now to GitHub, because we actually have something you can pull down when it runs this in GitHub Actions, and it may be useful for anyone who wants to pick up this example task to look at this. And for any new viewers on this stream today, we are working on the mlops.net repo, and you're more than welcome to join and contribute. And if you have any questions on it, just kind of ask me or AJ or Daniel. That would be great. And if you hit that follow button, you'll make sure to get notified when I'm live. So I'm going to switch to this branch here to make sure we can submit these changes. So, you know, the last few streams here, what we've done here is we have updated this code here to have these changes here. And I will actually leave the comments in here, but I don't like new lines. So we have some idea of what we want to do here later. I don't think we need to worry about this one, so we'll go ahead and ignore that file. And we have added that, that's fine. We don't need that one. And we'll ignore those two as well. And we'll say added initial support for mlops.net integration. And we'll push that to master directly, because that's the only only one working in that repo right now. So nice. All right, so we've done that. Pretty productive day so far. We got that working. So I guess one thing that you all are thinking about and probably want to dive into, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is the client architecture for the Blazor app, and how kind of what we're thinking about there. See. Okay, so does it make sense to open maybe a Visio diagram here and start working on that, fleshing that out a bit, and then we can add a docs folder for that later if you want to. Probably it's the way to go here. So go ahead and add that. Sounds good, AJ. Where in New Zealand are you, by the way? I know you're in New Zealand, but not sure where you are in New Zealand. Alright, get that. Wellington, nice. I actually been to New Zealand and Wellington myself. I used to live in Melbourne for a year in Australia, and we took a lot of travel when I was there for a year, and Australia was one of the places I definitely went to as well. It was nice, super great country. Alright, so what do I think we should do here? At the end of the world, yeah, Daniel. You should go, if you ever have a chance to go to Australia or New Zealand, you should go. I mean, I would move in a heartbeat to there if it wasn't so far away from everything else. It's just, if you want to go home to family in Europe or in the US, it's just so far away. But it's a fantastic country, both Australia and New Zealand. It's a great place. Really, really, really like it. It's my second home. Alright. Back to work now. I should almost get a beer, actually. I'm inclined to get a beer, but not yet. So the Blazor app. So what I was thinking here is we are putting a lot of work into this SDK, right? The MLOps.NET, MLOps.NET Azure, SQLite, and we're going to have multiple other options as well. And I don't want us to reinvent the wheel. There's just no point of it. And I don't think we need a web API to start off with. Because if you look into the code here, what we're doing is just calling the storage accounts here mostly. Let's close these ones here. What we're doing overall here is we're doing a lot of operations here on table storage of sorts and different storage providers for uploading things. So the SDK actually holds all of that communication between our storage providers as long as we instantiate the right one. So the only thing we really need to do is build a wrapper on top of those SDKs, whether that's an API or a Blazor app. So what I'm suggesting we do here, and I'm definitely open for suggestions here, is we create a Blazor WebAssembly front end. So Blazor WebAssembly is going to be loaded, from my understanding, and I'm not an expert in Blazor, but it's going to be loaded completely to the front end. So it will not be server rendered whatsoever. It's going to run in your browser as DLLs, and it's going to do its calls from the browser. So if we do that as a Blazor WebAssembly here, what we can do then is include our packages within that. So let's see how it's best written here. Let me actually do this. Ooh, that's horrible. Let me rewrite this so it looks better. I will do this one. I will do this one. And I'll make sure we have no fill in this one. No fill. So what I'm thinking we can do here is we can have mlops.net here, our NuGet package as part of this. We'll have mlops.net Azure. We'll have mlops.net SQLite here, and anything else we are going to create here as well. SQLite, and probably we won't have SQLite in this one because, well, maybe actually we'll have that. We'll see. But we'll have our storage providers here. On top of that, what we'll do is we'll have a Blazor WebAssembly project, and what that will do, we'll make it a bit bigger because it's kind of the main thing here. What that will do is we'll reference all of these packages here. Oop, in the code. Don't do that. Stop. Ah, Jesus, this is annoying. We will have like that. Okay, perfect. So imagine we have a solution for a Blazor WebAssembly app. We are pulling down NuGet packages for each of these. So we're not referencing the products directly. We are referencing the NuGet packages. And we're building a wrapper on top of this in our WebAssembly app. So how can we do this the best way? I guess, how can I illustrate this the best way? So for example, let's say we want to let's see, I'll call it a wrapper actually. Let's call it wrapper here. Wrapper services. Let's call it an adapter service here. Put a WebAssembly here instead. So for example, if we do this, and we'll have pizza soon. If we do this, yes, client side WASM. What we can do then is, yes, WASM, Daniel. So wrapper service is not an API. It's actually code. And this is a great question, AJ. So what I'm thinking here is, for example, let's say we are building, it's actually, we're going to use it exactly the same way as we do for anything else. But let's say we are getting all experiments, or we're getting all runs, because we want to display all experiments for the user, right? So in a Blazor WebAssembly app, that would be a Blazor Razor template for displaying that, and we would have backend code there for calling whatever we want to. So our Blazor, everything here would be rendered into the browser, so nothing would go between a browser and the server. But from our code here, which will be C#, instead of calling like an HTTP call to REST API or something, we can just use an adapter service here to call these specific NuGet packages directly. And actually, we probably don't even need this adapter service, we can just call it directly. So if, for example, let's say we want to get all experiments, what we'll do is we'll add a method to get all experiments in our main package here. We'll add the implementation of that into each of these packages here, and then from our Blazor WebAssembly, we'll just call that get all experiments. So then everything is going to be client side. Nothing's going to be server side. That's that kind of the key here. Everything is going to be in the browser. So we won't even have any server. So all of this is going to be browser. It took me a while to kind of wrap this around my head as well for a bit, but I think it's actually really clean and nice, because we can reuse a lot here. So everything is going to be browser, and we'll load it straight in. So let's say that we create a Blazor app, right? For this, all we need to do is just build the UI on top. We don't need to build any like smart logic into this app, because everything, all the logic can be in our NuGet packages, which we can reuse for other things. And the cool thing then with this is that, let's say we have this Blazor app, and let's say, hey, okay, now I really want to build an web API on this. What I'll do then is, don't do that. What I will do, go down here, is I will just change this to web API here. And we can have an adapt service too, but I actually don't think we need that. So we'll just go straight there instead. So we can reuse these, and all we're going to do then is expose these methods here to a web API. Make sense? Nice. So I think that's the easiest way to achieve what we want, because in general this is going to be a dumb dumb UI, just a very clean UI. But I think that'd be really cool, and I'm really excited to try this. I had never done it, but in theory it should work. So my thought about this is that we'll have one ticket, maybe tomorrow, where we create this simple WebAssembly project with just bare bones. We'll then go ahead and add issues for each of the screens we want. So we'll think about what kind of design we want, and we'll add some screens for that. And then if any screen needs any data, like experiments or runs or metrics, or marking a model as deployed or whatever, we'll add those things in our SDK packages, because I promise you we'll need them in our web API, we'll need them in our Blazor app, and we may even need them in our SDK if we want to create a command line tool or something else here. So we'll keep all that logic in our NuGet packages to be able to reuse them. So I hope that makes sense and is acceptable. Any thoughts on that? Any objections? Hopefully it's good. All right. The browser. So I do need to kind of sign off for tonight at least, and make some dinner. But I do want to jump on this tomorrow. Exactly, Daniel. Web API is not necessary for our Blazor solution. It doesn't mean it's not necessary for something else, because we may want REST API for various scenarios, either to log metrics or consume our data in some fashion or other. For example, MLflow has a REST API as well, so the Python equivalent. So we probably want to at least architect our solution in a way that we can do that easily. And I think by doing like this, it's going to be pretty straightforward to do it. But what I will do is I will upload these, we'll kind of review these things tomorrow again, and I will upload them to a docs folder in the repo, so that it's kind of clear on what we're trying to achieve here. So when we create issues and work on this, this is kind of what the end goal is going to look like. Cool. But for now, I will sign off. I'll be on tomorrow again at 10 AM, and tomorrow we'll review this, and then we'll jump into some more coding and actually do some coding and add some PRs and contribute to this repo. I have not tried it to run it, Daniel. We will definitely try it soon. I know Bree has tried running it in the Blazor app, and I know there are examples in the community repos, so it should definitely be possible to do it. But if we have that kind of issue, that'd be great to have a feedback as well to the MLNet team and see kind of what we can do about it. So great point there, Daniel. Cool. All right. I won't keep you anymore. I have to unfortunately head out. But huge thanks, guys, for jumping on to the stream at the last minute today and contributing with your ideas and thoughts. This was super productive. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. All right. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.